Hi, Kimber. I'm Darrell Mitchell.
Hi, Darrell. I'm Kimber.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in today. So what I do here at Blue Mountain Counseling is I'm an intern currently. So I'm going through an addictions counseling course, getting a bachelor's degree, and this is my practicum.
Mm.
So I'm working here with Sandy, and I understand that your doctor suggested that you come in and have a screening for alcohol consumption and see kind of where that falls as far as a risk or a health concern.
Hmm.
So before we head down that road, though, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? What brought you here today?
Um, yeah, I mean, I had a fall, and I went to the hospital. And anyway, my ex, well, now my ex, uh, like a couple days after, he had a conversation with me, and he thought that I needed to get some help.
Okay, okay. Um, what do you normally do with your free time? I mean, is spend a lot of your time drinking socially, or some other things that you do interest you? What do you do for work?
Yeah, I mean, I have a job, and it's a really good one, and I get to work in a project. I'm a project manager for
Hmm.
a engineering firm, and so I work. I think this is part of the reason why he said I kind of needed to get some help because I mean, I travel for that job,
Hmm.
um, and so like when I'm home, but I'm home a lot, and I work from home, and so when I'm home, I mean, I drink a lot at home, so I don't do a lot. We play kickball. He and I used to play kickball with a group of
That's
people, but there
that's
was a
fun.
lot of drinking there too, and
Sure.
that's actually what we were doing the night that I ended up having the fall. And there was just the drink, we did kickball and then we went out. And I mean, that's pretty normal. Like a lot of people my age do that, and we did that. But then he said he probably thought I needed to, because I mean, I get pretty blackout drunk most of the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I appreciate you sharing that. I think one of the keys to this being useful is if you answer as honestly and accurately as you can. So I appreciate you sharing that. Well, the tool that we're going to use, this is a tool. It's called the audit, and it's that acronym stands for Alcohol Use Disorders Identification Test. So this is a 10-item screening, and we're going to go through and take a look at that, and then there's a scoring matrix that they've established, and it gives us some kind of indication of what they think may be happening as far as any concerns health-wise, or perhaps with your medication or anything like that they just wanted to bring to your attention. So that way we can get the doctor the information that he'd like to have. Does that sound okay?
It does. I'm a little nervous because I know my ex. He's the one who said like I might want to get help, and I was really not okay with that at first. But then I'm here because I think I do need some help, and
Okay.
so I mean, like if I do this audit and it says I don't, I'm like I don't have a problem. I mean, like I'm a
Yeah.
little nervous like about what happens after this.
So
Um,
there's a variety of options.
mhm.
So once we get this screening, we'll send that to your doctor, and he may be able to weigh in on what some options could be. If you feel like regardless of how the screening comes out, that there's a concern for you and that you'd like to take a look at that, we have a variety of different resources that we could point you to. And our specialty here is working with people that have some type of substance use disorder.
Mm.
So, we would be able to help you here as well if that's something that you wanted to pursue. So I think initially trying to get
Okay.
equipped with some information about our circumstance, and a first step of that maybe is kind of taking an honest look for the first time of what really is happening as far as my consumption. I think that's a great way to begin. So why don't we do
Okay.
that, and then we'll have a conversation about what may make sense heading forward.
Okay.
Okay, great. So the other thing, I guess, that we have to take a look at is so we understand what one drink would equal. There's a chart that's been established. So what this is basically showing us is that 12 ounces of a beer, which has about 5% alcohol in it, is the same equivalent of drinking 8 or 9 ounces of a malt liquor, 5 ounces glass of wine, or an ounce and a half of hard liquor, either as a shot or as a mixed drink. So is there a particular thing that you like to drink?
Well, right now it's wild turkey.
Okay.
and wine, not together.
Okay. So the other night, what were you drinking? Wild Turkey the other night?
Yeah, it started with beer
Okay.
the other night, and then because kickball, that's what
Right.
we play kickball, and then we went to the bar after, and we kept drinking beer, but then we started taking shots, and
Okay.
then when I got home, I was drinking wild turkey when I got home.
Okay. Good. So I'll ask you some questions, and I'll just record some answers, and then we'll take a look at the score.
Okay.
So the first question is, how often do you have a drink containing alcohol? So there's five scores. 0 is never. For this question, 1 would be monthly or less. 2 is 2 to 4 times a month. 3 is 2 to 3 times a week, or 4 is 4 more times a week.
4.
Okay. How many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you're drinking? So on these 4 days, whenever you're drinking, is it 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 to 9, or 10 or more?
How many is this like?
So
I would say 7 to 9.
okay. So looking
I mean,
at
like
whether
on
you're
an
drink-
everyday basis.
no, well,
or
on the
just-
days that you're drinking. So it's if
I
a
drink every
typical
day.
you're drinking every day. Okay, that's good to know. And so are you saying that each day then you think you probably
hard.
have 7 to 9 is on average?
If one drink is, yeah, I mean, I want to say 10. It's hard to say.
Okay.
It's hard to say how many there are. So somewhere between 7 and 10, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so let's just put these both down. Let's see if it matters as far as our scoring. How often do you have 5 or more drinks on occasion? So we talked about that daily, right? How often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you started?
I've tried, I mean, just that I can think of 2 or 3 times in the past year.
That when you decided, I'm only going to have a couple today, you were able to do that?
Is that I've actually done it?
Yeah, so how often have you found that you were
No,
not,
never.
or I guess where you were not able? So you typically, when you begin to drink, you want to continue to drink.
Yes.
Okay. How often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected of you because of your drinking? Have you missed any work or any family commitments?
That was
social
some of the stuff
commitments?
that the ex talked about. Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
it happens, it seems to happen like kind of in spurts. So, maybe it's like 5 or 6 times in like a 3-month period, and then none for 3 months, and then 5 or 6 more times. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Like, happens in sections.
Okay, so there's a consistency to some of the fact that it happens, but just it's hard to know when it's going to happen. So you probably don't seem to have a lot of control over when or that may or may not happen. So you begin to drink, and you may or may not make the social outing or the work commitment. It kind of depends on
Yeah.
what's happening with the drinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we say, if it's every few months, maybe weekly?
Yeah.
If we averaged it out over the course of the year, so every
Yeah.
few months, it's maybe once, so 6, 7 times, so it's maybe monthly or weekly. Okay. How often during the last year have you needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going, after heavy drinking the evening before?
I do that every day.
Okay. How often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after
Every day.
drinking? How often during the last year have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because of your drinking?
Every day.
Okay. Thanks for your honesty in all this. Have you or someone else been injured because of your drinking?
Well, yeah. Just fell.
All right.
Went to the hospital.
So the fall.
Yeah.
Has there been any other time where you've been any physical injury?
Yeah,
as a
I was
result?
playing kickball and I cracked, see this thing on my finger?
Okay.
I was playing kickball and I cracked my finger in half and had to have a pin and 4 screws put in. And I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I can't really say if it was because of drinking, but I was drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good possibility that some combination of drunk kickball resulted in,
So some of your
broken
other
finger.
kickball teammates, are they having these type of injuries happen?
No.
So it may not be the kickball or kickball only. Right? Okay. So the last question is, has a relative, friend, doctor, or other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking or suggested you cut down? So we know that your doctor suggested this after this, maybe perhaps the second accident, perhaps those encouraged him to do that. Is you have any family members? I mean, your ex-boyfriend is
I
outside
had a
of the.
couple of friends mention it.
Okay. And within the last year?
Hmm.
Wonderful. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and score the rating and then take a look at what's happening. And I think it's pretty safe to say, based on most of your answers are in the 3 to 4, that as we take a look at the way that they break down the dependent scoring, that you're running in the 18 to 15 or actually over 15. So this is risky or hazardous level. So I think the right thing to talk about here is perhaps, after you see your doctor, what maybe the next steps might be for you, and see what you think about some of those options. So
Okay.
I appreciate you coming in today, and thank you.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.